I'm probably going to get hung for saying this, but the more athletes that I coach across North America, the harder it is to ignore. Academy hockey might be the most oversold product in the sport. And I think parents deserve an honest conversation about what it is they're actually buying. Let me be clear about where this is actually coming from. I coach players who are in academies right now, and the players who I coach will remain nameless, but they're in academies all over North America. East Coast, West Coast, Canada, US, the works. So I have a fairly good idea in general of what academies are like, unless all of the athletes who I coach just happen to be in less than desirable academies. Caveat. But in my experience, they are good kids. They come from committed families. And what they describe to me consistently across program to program, across provinces and states, is not what they were sold. They are promised ice time, structure, consistency, opportunity, exposure. And what they're delivered, coaches who are overloaded and disorganized, sometimes even running multiple teams from the same coach. Ice times that change week to week. Schedules that in some cases don't get sent out until Sunday night, like for that week. Yes, off-ice training, strength and conditioning, very important. But the facilities to support that growth isn't really built to handle a full team at a time from what I've seen so far. And then players being berated, being treated like they need to be broken down before they can be built up, but only the first half is ever happening. I mean, I've had athletes who've told me that their coach quit on them halfway through the season. Like, stopped studying teams, stopped coming up with new stuff for practices, stopped engaging the team, just rolled lines and let the rest of the season play out. I've had players who have been told as a group, the entire team, that none of them are moving up next year. And I've seen roster promises made at tryouts that never materialized. Now, with that one, that happens at every level in every organization. That is not academy specific. But the point that I make there is that academies are not free of that. And I've watched families spend $20,000, $30,000, sometimes more, chasing the dream of development and exposure while their kid is just quietly losing their love for the game. I'm not saying any academy is a scam. I'm saying the gap between what's being promised and what's being delivered is wide enough that parents need to go in with their eyes open. So if you're considering the academy route, I want this video to help you come up with questions for yourself so that you can make an informed and a grounded decision that you feel confident in when you are sending your player to an academy. So if you are planning on going to an academy, considering it, or you're already in it and something feels off, here are the questions I would ask before writing another check. Number one, where does the coach come from? How much experience do they have in the academy and out of the academy? How many teams is this coach responsible for? Number two, is it possible to see the full season schedule before committing, not just the first month? And the reason for this is to know that the structure and the consistency are being taken care of. If the academy can't provide when the ice times will be, when the class time will be, when the training will be, and they say, we'll figure it out, or the school is online, the players will have time to do it on their own. Those are things that I don't want to say necessarily are red flags, but things to be considerate of when you're making your decision. Again, I have one player who's in an academy who, their schedule changes week to week, and that can be detrimental for development and success when players are living on their own. Number three, what is the specific development plan and path for my player, and how is it tracked and communicated to me throughout the year? Now, this question is very important because the way it's asked can signal a lot of things about a parent. We don't want to come across as the overbearing, hard to please parent. It's really coming from a sense of care and just wanting clarity and understanding of what the expectations are going in. Number four, this is a big one when you're thinking about your future for your player, is what's happened to players who have come through this program in the last 3 years. Not just taking, the best players, considering all of them, right? Because, a broken clock's right twice a day. And I say the last 3 years because then if it's a newer academy, you want to pay attention to what their answer is, right? Academies seem like they're popping up all the time. They make big promises. They have new ways of doing things, right? But at the same time, when you have one chance at high level hockey, the window is small, your player is aging. You don't want your player's development to be the guinea pig of them cutting their teeth and figuring out how an academy works. Number five, what's your policy around hiring coaches, particularly if a coach leaves mid-season? This is something that, is a bit of a safeguard as a plan. Like, how often do the coaches stay? What's the plan if they leave, right? We want to think of backup plans because the world's not perfect. And I say this question, like, you don't have to ask all of these questions. It's more of going through the exercise of asking questions that are thoughtful and important and will make you better informed and more confident in your decision. Number 6, this one is tough to answer. So it's not so much about what the answer is as how the answer comes across, right? It's how are roster and promotion decisions or ice time set decisions made and what criteria are used. That's very much more of just understanding the coach's philosophy and what they value, how they structure their coaching, so that you can understand if your player is a good fit within that or if things are going to, grind gears. And then number 7, what does a typical week look like? Ice time, off-ice training, film, recovery, and what facilities are used for each. Now, the ice time and the off-ice, they should have mapped out. They should have booked facilities available for already. If they don't, massive red flag. Film and recovery. Recovery is going to be focused around nutrition, sleep. So what's the dorm life like? What's the cafeteria or the billet homes like? Film is important because you want to see, again, if they're going to try and give you the answer that you want to hear. Oh yeah, we do tons of film. Oh, we'll do film on these days, this amount of time of film per week, right? Or if they're open about it and just say, like, we don't have a set time. This is what I view on film. Obviously, like, I want to do it if it's purposeful, but I don't want to waste players' time if we don't have purpose to it. Or maybe they do have like a set time. Yeah, Wednesdays, every Wednesday from 10:30 to 11:30, that's when we do film. So you just want to gauge the answer of how prepared they are and really how honest they are. If an academy or a coach from an academy can answer those questions clearly and confidently before you sign up, or you get the inclination that they're trying to impress you or mislead you or blow smoke up your butt, that's your answer. But I think it's important to go through, and it doesn't have to be these 7 specific questions, but having a set of questions that you can have answered or that you want answered to make you feel confident in your decision. Because development is real, exposure is real, but it has to be built around structure, honesty, and accountability. And as much as we impress that on our players, as families, we need to impress that on the places they go to as well. And right now, too many programs are selling a dream, frankly, without having the infrastructure to back it up. I hope you find this video helpful in making more informed and confident decisions for your player for next year. And I want to know in the comments, what have you experienced? You don't have to name any names or specifics, but if you've been through an academy program as a parent or a player or a coach, drop it in the comments, good, bad, or ugly. Because the more we talk about this openly, the harder it becomes for programs to hide from it or really shy away from it. What I want for players and their families is not necessarily that they go to a good academy or a bad academy, but that they go to the academy and their expectations of what happened before they sign up are fulfilled after they sign up. I hope you found this valuable. Make sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss our next video. And I hope that this helped you find your best spot for the upcoming season.